Yeah. And then the other part of my brain was like, they make gluten-free and lactose-free stuff for you, you fucking idiot. I'm like, oh god, this is Bruce with the video game power button on the control all over again.
I'm never gonna live that down, am I?
No.
Like, it fucking exists, you idiot. Upgrade your fucking system. And you'll have a power button on your remote, asshole.
Like, do they still use cartridges?
You're like, maybe if your most modern system wasn't an SNES, we could be talking about this.
Hey, don't talk shit about the SNES. I love that thing.
Me too. And to be fair, my most recent system is a PS2, but
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I love that you came down here and you're just like, you're kidding me. These things exist? Like, dude, check this out. Xbox 360. Ding. Nintendo Wii. Ding. I'd show you
immediately drove home.
I'd show you the PlayStation 3, but I don't have it.
You bastard.
Look, the controls are also wireless too.
No, see that I had on PS2. That wouldn't be surprising.
Well, yeah, they also had them for Atari systems back in the day.
That's true.
Yeah, but they've gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, they had it with the Power Glove. Actually, no, that was wired, wasn't it?
The Power Glove was wired. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was wireless, but no.
No, it was wired.
Although, would you count like the? Oh no, because even like the bazookas and like the Nintendo guns were all wired in too.
The Nintendo gun was wired in, but they had the Super Scope, that's the bazooka thing you're talking about.
Yeah,
That was wireless.
Okay, so there kind of was like a wireless gun.
Yeah, it was wireless. It took like a couple of like C or D batteries, and it fucking drained them in like a couple hours.
I bet.
Yeah, it was just a fucking disaster.
Speaking of old school gaming, I've actually installed Linux on my machine.
Yeah.
And part of that means that I can download free Doom, which is a program that they have, which is like a copy of Doom, but it's pretty terrible to be honest.
Oh, nice.
But then you can download the Doom WADs. They're called WAD files.
WAD.
Super WAD. So I downloaded the Doom 1 and Doom 2 WADs.
WAD.
And I can play those on my machine for free. It's fucking awesome.
God, I remember like back in the day, I used to play this thing called, what was it, Barney Stein. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that shit?
Yes, I do. They also had a Simpsons version.
I didn't play the Simpsons version, but I played the Barney version.
I remember there was a Simpsons version of Doom where, you know, like the Baron of Hell?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Well, that enemy in Doom was replaced with Flanders. So instead of the usual, it was the hidey ho neighbor.
Oakley dokley.
Exactly. Good times.
Yeah, good times, man, good times. But actually, like speaking of that, man, I actually downloaded. I actually have a Super Nintendo emulator on my computer now.
That's awesome.
It is, man. One of the first games I downloaded was Super Punch Out. So I was like, that game was my bitch. And then just trying to use the fucking keyboard to play it, I'm just like, this thing's not my bitch that much anymore.
Yeah, seriously, it really makes things a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, there's like USB controllers that you can like buy, and like it turns into essentially a Super Nintendo controller, which I'm looking to get into, but
Eventually,
yeah.
Yeah.
If I get a few more games.
I remember the NES emulator, Nesticle.
Yeah, I remember
That
that
was
one.
awesome. Especially because it came preloaded with like 100 games or like I don't know, probably more than that.
I don't even know, man. I do remember my asshole ex-brother had what the fuck was it? He had like a Nintendo emulator, like a disc with a Dreamcast. So like he could play the Dreamcast and play like regular 8-bit Nintendo games, and it held like the entire Nintendo library on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And he moves out and is like, yeah, I'm taking this. I'm like, go for it. Get out of here.
Now you're like, I want it back.
No, now I'm just like, God, I really wish I could fucking play some 8-bit Nintendo.
Download Nesticle, sir.
You know how difficult that is to play with a fucking keyboard?
That's true.
Okay, then.
But then again, it's a little bit easier because you only need the arrow buttons and 2 keys.
Yeah.
For A and B, so it's a little bit easier, I think. Because Super Nintendo had what, like 6 buttons plus the D-pad?
Yeah, there was the D-pad and the, well, you counting start and select, that bumps it up to 8 buttons.
And then the left left, right, start, select, A, B, X, Y, right?
Yeah, and then left and right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, LR.
Yeah.
The paddles.
Pedals.
Paddles.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, if you had to point to like one video game that you were like, you know what, man, I want this. No, that'd probably be too difficult. If you had like a top 5 of your all-time favorite video games, what would they be?
All-time favorite video games?
Yeah, all time.
In no particular order.
No, no particular order. None at all.
The Ninja Turtles arcade game. The
What, the
I think it was
first?
what?
The first one or Turtles in Time?
No, not the first one. I forget what it was
Turtles
called.
in Time. It was
What?
Turtles in Time.
That was the first one?
No, the first one was just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Okay, that one. That's where you like scroll through the buildings and shit, right? And like it's on fire and like the balls
that
come
was
down
the
the
first
stairs
one.
and shit.
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah,
That one.
that was really that
I-
over Turtles in Time.
Yeah, I mean I dig Turtles in Time, but I like the original one better personally.
All right, fair enough.
Another arcade game, I forget what it was called, but it was WWF, like Royal Rumble. No, not Royal Rumble, but like I forget what it was. But it had like Mr. Perfect, Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think that might have been Royal Rumble.
That might have been Royal
For
Rumble.
Sega Genesis, I'm assuming.
No, this was for arcade. It was arcade only.
Ah,
It was like maybe like Wrestling Superstars or some shit like that.
maybe.
Maybe. Also up there would be Mortal Kombat 2.
All right.
Absolute classic Mortal Kombat game. GTA San Andreas, because I love GTA 3, or I love the GTA series, but in my opinion, San Andreas is like the most impressive. Until you get to like 4 or 5 and like the more modern ones, which admittedly I haven't even played, but
Well, yeah.
so that leaves one more. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe Excite Bike? Or actually, no, Rampage. Fucking old school Rampage.
Old school Rampage, man.
Yeah, Rampage. That would be another one.
Jesus Christ.
That's my top 5. Locking it in.
Just locking it in.
Locking it in. I mean, don't get me wrong, like some of the computer shit like Doom and stuff was cool, but I didn't like sit at my computer like wasting away hours on Doom the way I wasted away hours on some of those other games that I listed.
Counter-Strike.
Like I remember going to Fun Time at the Burka Mall, here locally to me, and it was an arcade in the mall, which was awesome to begin with, and they had like fucking everything. And then on top of that, down the like in the same complex as that, it was like a strip mall, was a movie theater, and they had that Superman arcade game.
Yes.
Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. I remember that
So
shit
like
when I was a kid.
between that arcade and that Superman game, man, I was fucking set.
Oh man, I remember that fucking Superman game. All just there was like a complex in my old hometown in Jersey, and like that game was always there, and that was always like the first thing that I would run to, unless my dad was like, "Oh, come on, we're gonna go play mini golf first," or "Hey, we're gonna go to the batting cages."
I would usually go for fucking air hockey, but then I'd go to like the console shit.
Yeah.
I figured,
God, I love that Superman game.
Yeah, that game was awesome. I mean, it was a little frustrating because like it was so easy to die.
Oh yeah.
But it was challenging and it was fun. I remember I never really got very far. I think I got to like the first boss and I was like killed instantly or some shit.
Just like this podcast. Like, you're doing all right. You get to the end, you're fucking dead.
Pretty much. No, it wasn't even the end. It was like the first boss, and it was like it'd touch me and I'd die.
And you're just like, this is Superman. He's fucking indestructible.
Pretty much. This is bullshit. I'm not playing this game ever again.
This little 10-year-old Bruce just shouting out, this game is fucking bullshit. Fucking shenanigans on this.
Now, see, if only back then I had recorded it and said shit like, this sucks shit through a straw, I could have been the original AVGN.
Yeah.
But you know what that actually kind of reminds me of is like bad haircuts. Like when I was a kid, man, and I was rocking around that the arcade, I had a rat tail. Did you ever have that shit?
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed like every kid in the 90s had that rat tail. Every boy in the 90s.
Yeah, now we look at kids with a rat tail. We're just like, you fucking poor pathetic thing.
Yeah, like it didn't work before. It's not gonna work now. What do you think you are, some sort of fucked up Jedi? Come on.
Like you might as well have just sprayed yourself with pussy repellent.
You look like a stingray. Why don't you go find an Irwin? Seriously, imagine that. Like if you had a tail, and then you just like cut the sides of your hair and to the back, except for where the tail is, and if you cut it in just the right way, if you took a top down of your head, you'd look just like a stingray.
Kind of.
Or a sperm.
Well, probably more of a sperm.
Or you'd look like a wad.
It's Wadzilla.
Wadzilla.
Fucking name it.
Fucking Wadzilla.
Fucking Wadzilla. He's coming to get you.
What a sticky situation.
Oh, man. That was a funny movie, though.
Hey, honey, why don't you mull this one over?
Imagine you watching that with Liz. She's just sitting there like, what the fuck are we watching?
Oh, man. I don't think we could get through very much of it.
Probably not.
Oh, I do have something awesome to announce, which you've probably seen on Facebook.
If it's what I'm thinking of, then yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, I'm going to see fucking Rush on what is supposedly supposed to be their last major tour.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm really stoked to see them. Whether or not it is their last major tour, it's fucking awesome.
So essentially, after this tour, they're gonna be like the Who and just have like maybe a couple select dates every now and then.
Yeah, basically what it comes down to is the drummer Neil. He's got a family now, and he kind of, for those who don't know, he had like a wife of 20-something years and an 18-year-old daughter who both passed away within the span of like 6 months or something like that, right around the time that Vapor Trails came out, so circa like 2003.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so a lot of shit went down. That's what kind of inspired his book Ghost Rider, which is an awesome book. Cheap plug. Anyway, so he now has another family like established, a wife and a kid and everything, a very young kid. And so when he was approached about this touring thing this time, he was sort of hesitant about it because he's like, you know what? I'd really kind of like to be home with my family. And I mean, you got to respect and understand that. So it almost seemed like it wasn't even going to happen. And then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, Russia's going on tour for their 40th anniversary. So it was like, wow, fucking cool. But they did say that it's probably going to be their last major tour of any kind like it. So they'll probably do like smaller ventures, if anything.
Yeah, which that's understandable. I give credit to him. It's just like, all right, it's a 40th anniversary major tour. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just because then the way they could do it is if they have those like few select dates, they can charge more for tickets and they'd be able to get almost as much money as if they did like a major tour.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, supply and demand. I'm still trying to get tickets to go see Motley Crue on their farewell tour.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
Because it sucked because like the first time they came through, they were going through Connecticut, and I was like, oh, I should ask my brother see if he can grab me tickets for that. And then I find out the concert's on Sunday, and I'm just like, fuck, I can't do that. Because then I would have to drive about 4 hours to get back from Uncasville, Connecticut to Nashua, New Hampshire.
Uncas.
Yeah, Uncasville. Uncasville! I remember the first time we performed here, we were in a tent. And I was pitching it.
And I was like, what's an Uncas?
It's a village of Uncas. Uncas and aunts. Now sing along with your Uncle Paul.
Uncle Hooker?
Shut up.
I'll tell you people, I found out where Uncle was that night,
I'm like the reincarnated Elvis. Cause I'm an Uncle Love.
And that's why they call it Uncasville. When all else fails, Paul Stanley.
He's right there. Just waiting in the wings like, is my cue? Is my cue? Can I go on? Can I go on?